All right, welcome back. Nice to have you with us. Folks, as we said, before we go to the women's rugby, we're going to take just a quick glimpse at the log and results that came in, or at least the log positions in Super League A, so we can get our resident guru, Alistair Tace, to tell us some of his thoughts. But in Super League A then, you can see it on the screen now. Durban, followed by Villagers, False Bay, Hamilton's, SK Warmers, UCT. UCT is currently at number 6, followed by Van der Stel, who's then followed by Unimo, and then Tygerberg, Stellenbosch, Helderberg, and Brackenfell. And the bottom 3 is UWC, Kuilsrivier, and St. George's. Having a real weak moment here. Don't know why, but Alistair, all right, let's talk about this top 6 here. Is it lockdown? Can we still see Van der Stel, Unimo, Tygerberg make it in?
I think Van der Stel still stands a chance. Yeah. They have 2 games in hand. They're on 37. They win the 2. They go up to 47. UCT's in the mix. They have 3 games left. SK would want to win with a bonus point. I know their last game is against Marties.
Yeah.
Then other teams need to do them a favour for them to really stay in that top 6. But False Bay, Hamilton's, Villages, Durban, I think they should be safe.
So, yeah, so it's one of those interesting scenarios again. Stellenbosch is going to really, at an absolute maximum, rely on every possible piece of the puzzle to fall in place for them if they're going to have any chance of making the top 6.
Yeah.
But the truth is it doesn't look likely. Tygerberg, on the other hand, also are very borderline, with a slightly better odds maybe than Stellenbosch. So, I
really think it's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about the bottom part. The bottom part, Kuilsrivier and St. George's.
So Kuilsrivier and St. George's, I think they've been relegated now.
Yeah.
UWC has 2 games in hand. Helderberg is done on 30. Brackenfell has a game in hand. They're on 28. UWC picks up 5 points out of their 2 games, and they jump up to 11th.
Yeah.
So I think the team that's in trouble is actually Helderberg.
All right, folks. Well, it is definitely going to get more and more interesting. Right, as we said, this past weekend, 18 teams took to the field at City Park. It was a festival of women's rugby on Women's Day. Here's a couple of highlights just from behind the scenes. All right, there we go. As I said earlier on, folks, more than 18 women's teams playing there at City Park. Alistair, I mean, forget about the quality of rugby. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But how incredible is it then to see 18 women's teams pitch up. It's a shorter form of the game, but even in the weather, raining, storming, they were there to play.
I think it was a great gesture to have a tournament or initiative like that. And the fact that there was 18 teams, it shows how women's rugby is growing in our union, you know, which is great to us.
So talk a little bit through that though, because on the side of the field, when I was standing on the side of the field, it's bitterly cold, it's raining. Just the volunteerism and the people that are there making an effort to make things work.
But it's the passion for the game.
Yeah.
You know, as much as we talk about community clubs and we're always referring to the male version, this is the female version. They're also passionate about wanting to participate and grow their part of the game or part of the game, you know, and contribute to the club overall.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, folks. I must say a big thanks to everybody that contributed just to get those little couple of snippets in there. You know, we had Blue Jets and Rocklands and Elsie Zafir and False Bay and Belleville and yeah, I mean, there's too many to mention, but quite incredible. But Zara from Elsie Zafir and Jerome, they managed to send us a couple of videos that they took behind the scenes of their game. So there's some clips here from Elsie Zafir also doing amazing stuff. Let's take a look at the game. All right, there we go, folks. A lot of action there. All right, talk me a little bit through the quality of the women's rugby, Alistair. Is it something that we worry about now? Or do we worry more about making sure the teams are full, more recruitment, and so on?
I think both is happening at the moment. Participation is going up.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you look at women's at girls rugby in schools, there's more women's rugby academies out there. There's more club participation happening. You know, overall, I think our game is growing, not just from a Western Province perspective, but on a national level. If you look at what our national side is doing, you know, so all of these are feeding off one another. But the big thing for me is the participation and the growth in that, and that the enjoying what is happening, and you can see the improvement of the rugby as it goes on week by week.
So there's also definitely a question of momentum builds momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, a few years ago, one or two teams, people are not really sure, should we do it, should we play, is it real, will I be able to participate? Now all of a sudden, 18 teams, the message out there is strong. This is active, it's busy, and if you want to play, come and join.
100%. And I'm pretty sure by going into next season, you might have another 8 teams, You
Yeah,
know, that's,
and a
that's
second
when
team maybe as well, and a third team at the clubs.
And the clubs might even end up having under 20 girls playing, you know, in their own league.
All right, folks, well, there you go. Women's rugby is on the grow, and folks, in fact, you shouldn't be begging at the moment to get yourself a women's rugby club. It's quite simply one of your obligations, in that if you have a club, you should have a women's team. It's not even a debate anymore. So by now, you shouldn't be waiting. You should have a team on the park, whether there's a competition or not. And that's how many of the clubs got started. They got their women's rugby team started with 5 or 6 players arriving in the field and throwing the ball around without having a competition. Now there's a competition wherever you go. So if you are out there and you don't have a women's team yet, get one started. We'll certainly be talking about women's rugby here on Cape Rugby TV, as we have been for the last few years. We're going to keep doing that. So we get behind you and your club, and we talk about women's rugby. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the fixtures, as well as some of the logs coming up this weekend.